deadbeat dad, washed up, you name it. Miss Heard didn't like my involvement in the situation.
Just days before Amber Heard is set to take the stand in the defamation trial against Johnny Depp, Johnny's legal team called an important witness who testified under oath that Johnny was the victim in this relationship. Travis McGivern, Johnny's bodyguard who worked for Johnny during his relationship with Amber, testified via video that he personally saw Amber physically being aggressive towards Johnny on multiple occasions, and the attacks were so vicious that Travis, as Johnny's bodyguard, felt like he wasn't doing enough to protect him. Travis was first questioned by one of Johnny's lawyers and was asked to describe the interactions between Johnny and Amber during his employment. Travis said the relationship was full of ups and downs, with Johnny and Amber going from being a loving couple to not being able to stand each other.
It would depend. They were super loving, super happy, and then the next night they could be and
Travis also testified that during arguments, Johnny was usually the one who was trying to remove himself from the situation, while Amber would try to physically prevent him from leaving.
it was typically wanting to get out of there.
The lawyer then asked what he recalls hearing Amber say to Johnny during arguments, and Travis said Amber would often try to go after Johnny's parenting skills, calling him a deadbeat dad.
Heard call him a deadbeat dad, if I can say that. I apologize to the court. If a washed up, you name it.
As for Travis's own interaction with Amber during Amber and Johnny's altercations, Travis said Amber would get angry at him when he tried to remove Johnny from an argument.
There were a few times where I was trying to get Mr. Depp away from the situation, and Miss Heard didn't like my involvement in the situation.
And what did she say to you in that instance?
A lot. It was a lengthy, one-sided conversation.
Travis also shared that Amber had no respect while talking to him and would often try to humiliate him for being a bodyguard.
She basically demeaned my career choice, called me a yes man.
Travis then talked about a particularly turbulent period in Johnny and Amber's relationship after they returned from their trip to Australia in March 2015. Travis testified that when he picked up Amber from the airport, he saw no marks on her face.
What, if any, injuries did you observe on Miss Heard that day?
I didn't notice any injuries.
However, Travis did see the injuries Johnny sustained in Australia, mainly his heavily wrapped right hand, where Johnny had lost part of his middle finger after Amber allegedly threw a vodka bottle at him.
Mr. Depp had his right hand, heavily wrapped. I didn't actually see an injury, but his hand was wrapped.
Travis then said that he witnessed Johnny and Amber's arguments getting progressively worse after they returned from Australia, and he recalled one particularly nasty altercation that took place on March 23, 2015. Travis said that Johnny texted him around 4 a.m. and asked him to come up to the penthouse and bring Johnny's nurse with him.
He requested I meet him at Penthouse 5 and requested that I bring the nurse, his nurse that was working at that time, with him.
On their way to the penthouse, Travis and Johnny's nurse ran into Amber in the building lobby, and the nurse stayed with Amber while Travis went up to the penthouse to meet Johnny. Travis explained that after everything that he had witnessed by that point, he wanted to get to Johnny before Amber went back up.
Was hoping to get him out of there before Miss Heard came back up.
Why was that?
Just because past experiences.
When Travis got up the stairs to the penthouse, he found Johnny sitting in front of the door with packed bags. But as Travis and Johnny were getting ready to leave, Amber came back up, and Johnny and Amber decided to continue with their conversation.
As we were getting ready to leave, Miss Heard and Miss Lloyd exited the elevator on the penthouse level, so they came back up, and Mr. Depp and Miss Heard decided they wanted to continue whatever conversation they were having.
However, the argument quickly escalated, and Travis saw Amber throwing a Red Bull can at Johnny from the upper level of the penthouse.
I saw Miss Heard throw a Red Bull can from her position that struck Mr. Depp in the back.
Travis then moved closer to Johnny, trying to prevent him from getting physically hurt, and he testified that Amber and Johnny kept throwing insults at each other.
I stood right by Mr. Depp. The verbal onslaught continued from both of them.
But while Johnny only used words, Amber was the physically aggressive one, according to Travis, throwing another object at Johnny and at one point even spitting at him.
At one point, Miss Heard threw something else, either a purse or some sort of bag or something that she had up there. I was able to knock it away so it didn't hit him. At one point, she spit at him.
As for the specific insults Amber used during the altercation, Travis testified that she called Johnny all kinds of names and again went after him for being, as she put it, a deadbeat dad.
Specifically, there was you're washed up, you're a cunt, which he called her as well. You're, again, the deadbeat dad.
Travis was then asked how Johnny responded to Amber's behavior, and he said that Johnny was mad and upset. In fact, after Amber and her sister Whitney, who at some point walked into the penthouse, left, Johnny went up to the upper level and rearranged Amber's closet, throwing racks of clothing and shoes down the stairs.
Mr. Depp went upstairs and rearranged her closet for her, threw down probably every rack of clothing and shoes.
Shortly after, Amber and Whitney returned to the penthouse, and Amber became incensed when she saw what Johnny had done to her closet. At that point, Travis realized he needed to remove Johnny from the situation as quickly as possible, but when he tried to get him out of there, Amber punched Johnny with a closed fist.
I felt it was time to get Mr. Depp out of the situation, so I stepped in between Miss Heard and Mr. Depp, telling Mr. Depp that we were leaving and that it wasn't up to him anymore. At that point, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a fist and an arm come across my right shoulder, and I heard and saw a closed fist contact Mr. Depp in the left side of his face.
As for Johnny's reaction to the punch, Travis testified that Johnny just looked shocked, and Travis took him down to the lower level of the penthouse to protect him from further attacks.
The initial look on his face kind of mirrored mine, kind of a look of shock, like, what just happened? Where'd that come from? I wasn't going to let Mr. Depp get hit anymore, so I moved him down the last flight of stairs to the lower level.
Travis explained that at that point, he'd already felt like he hadn't done enough to keep Johnny safe.
I had let him get hit by a Red Bull can. I let him get punched. My job is to ensure the safety and well-being of my clients, and I felt like I hadn't done that, so it was my time to do my job and get him out of there.
The lawyer also asked if at any point during the altercation, Johnny physically retaliated and threw something at Amber, and Travis testified that Johnny did not respond physically whatsoever.
At any point during this incident, did Mr. Depp throw anything at Miss Heard?
No.
At any point, did Mr. Depp throw anything at anyone?
No.
Travis was then asked about another incident that took place after Amber's birthday party in April 2016. Again, Johnny texted Travis in the early morning hours, asking him to come to the penthouse. After Travis arrived, he found Johnny and Amber arguing, and he heard them saying something about phones being thrown out the window.
Again, a verbal argument. I think it was made clear that some phones had been thrown out the window.
And once again, Johnny was the one trying to leave the situation.
Mr. Depp was again ready to leave, to get out of the situation. He had his couple bags over his shoulders.
At that point, Travis realized Amber threw Johnny's phone out the window, and he and Johnny tried to look for it on the street, but they didn't find it.
We did look for the phone briefly, I think, on our way back to West Hollywood. But my main concern was getting him away from the situation, so I didn't find the phone.
Travis was then asked again if he saw any injuries on Amber, and he testified he saw none. Travis also denied ever witnessing Johnny being physically aggressive towards Amber. As for Amber, however, Travis said he witnessed her being physically aggressive on multiple occasions.
How many times have you witnessed Ms. Heard be physically aggressive towards Mr. Depp?
Obviously, the March 23rd thing in Penthouse 5, I have seen her physically try to prevent him from leaving before. So grabbing his arms, standing in front of him, pushing him. I've definitely seen her touch him on multiple occasions.
The lawyer then asked Travis about Johnny's substance use, and Travis said he witnessed Johnny use 2 different non-prescription drugs.
Have you ever observed Mr. Depp use any drugs?
I have.
And what drugs have you seen Mr. Depp use?
Marijuana and cocaine.
However, Travis explained that while Johnny used marijuana daily, he only saw him use cocaine a couple of times in all the years he worked for him.
How many times have you seen Mr. Depp use marijuana?
Too many to count. I mean, daily.
And how many times have you seen Mr. Depp use cocaine?
A couple. 2.
Travis also explained that Johnny's behavior didn't change much when he used these substances, and he described Johnny's demeanor as chill and mellow.
How would you describe Mr. Depp's demeanor when he's using marijuana?
Chill, for lack of a better word. Mellow.
As for alcohol, Travis said Johnny was a regular drinker, but the worst thing Johnny would do when he was drunk was to fall asleep on the couch.
The only time I would say I've seen Mr. Depp drunk was when he would fall asleep on the couch, sitting up with his boots on.
As for Amber, Travis testified he also witnessed her consume alcohol on many occasions, and he assumed she was drunk during the March 23rd incident when she threw a can of Red Bull at Johnny.
She drank fairly regularly. The incident on March 23rd, where I didn't see her drinking, but I assumed based on her behavior, she was drunk.
Johnny's lawyer had no further questions after this, and Travis was then cross-examined by one of Amber's attorneys, Ben Rottenborn. Rottenborn grilled Travis about the March 23rd incident, and he tried to tell Travis about the events Travis witnessed with his own eyes.
When you and Miss Lloyd entered Penthouse 5, Amber and Mr. Depp were already in there having a verbal argument, correct?
That is not correct.
Rottenborn argued that Johnny could have left the argument at any point, but instead he walked up to the upper level of the penthouse and rearranged Amber's closet.
He could have, when he was on that lower level of the penthouse, he could have left at that point, correct? You wouldn't have prevented that.
No, I would not have.
But instead, at some point, he walked up to the mezzanine and, as you say, he rearranged Miss Heard's closet.
Rottenborn then claimed that during the argument, Johnny reached for Amber's hair and tried to hit her with the cast he had on his right hand. However, Travis denied witnessing this.
Isn't it true that while he was on the mezzanine level and Miss Heard and her sister were there, that he was reaching for Amber's hair while he was trying to hit her with that cast, correct?
That is not correct.
But again, Rottenborn tried to tell Travis what happened, claiming that Amber punched Johnny only after Johnny pushed Amber's sister Whitney.
Well, in fact, you saw Mr. Depp push or shove Whitney Heard, correct?
Absolutely not.
And it was only after Mr. Depp pushed Whitney that Amber stepped forward and punched him in the face. Isn't that right?
That is not correct.
Rottenborn then went on to list all the dates and places Travis was not with Johnny and Amber, and after this, he had no further questions for Travis. So once again, fans are dragging Amber's legal team for being incompetent and for making up stuff to discredit Johnny's witnesses. One fan tweeted, Rottenborn just called Travis McGivern a liar and is again suggesting he was paid by Johnny Depp to disprove Amber Heard. Amber's lawyers excuse as usual. Another person said, Rottenborn doing everything to shift away from the fact Travis McGivern saw Amber Heard punching Johnny Depp. And another fan wrote, they conduct themselves more like bottom feeders, objecting constantly, repeating the smut to brainwash the jury, rapid-fire questioning, borderline badgering of the witnesses, all signs of desperation. Courtroom trickery. Many fans also said it was very difficult for them to listen to Travis talking about all the horrible things Amber did to Johnny. One fan said Amber Heard punched Johnny Depp in front of their security, Travis McGivern, and rather than reacting, Johnny just stood there in shock before Travis removed him from the situation. And another fan added, "It hurts me the most when the witness, Johnny Depp's bodyguard, Travis McGivern, said she spat at him. That is the most disrespectful thing to do to anybody. Sorry, Johnny." But there are more exclusive updates waiting for you on our channel, so make sure you check out this next video.